Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Raval here, and today we are going to start our Williams Grand Prix Road to Glory series on Motorsport Manager. So, basically, Williams are a legendary team and they have been successful in the early 1990s and 2000 when Adrian Newey, the design guru of Formula One, used to design their cars. My favorite Williams car to date is the FW15 because of its active suspension. I still think that it's a marvel of a car. So I think even Williams had some degree of success in the turbo hybrid era when they were powered by the mighty Mercedes power unit, but slowly they slipped to a midfield team, and then now, as we all know it, they are a backmarker team. After being humiliated and unable to run the team for many successive years, she couldn't take the humiliation anymore, so Claire Williams voluntarily resigned from the deputy team principal post, and a new deputy team principal by the name of Rahul Vivek CR from India, aged 23 years, who is an ex-engineer, was appointed by Sir Frank Williams to finally push his team towards success. Sir Frank Williams is hungry to see his team do well after so many years of disappointment, and the 23-year-old Indian comes as no surprise because he has strong leadership qualities which is now required to push this team in the right direction. He is also an ex-engineer, which means that he knows a lot about automotive um, related queries, and also he knows how to run a team. So it was no surprise that they went for the Indian. So basically, let's get started and have a look at our mail. So we have a welcome message from the Williams team, and that's a good thing. George Russell is introducing himself, and he says that he goes on well with Nicholas Latifi. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm really fascinated to see what George Russell can do in a competitive car. Definitely, he's an F2 winner and has proved in Hungary that he can push a car above its limits. And recently, I think around yesterday, he won the virtual Grand Prix in Circuit de Barcelona, beating Charles Leclerc. So George Russell has enormous potential in Formula One, and is also hailed to be the next F1 champion. I mean a future Formula One champion by the great late Niki Lauda. So basically, it's no brainer. We are going to try and build a team around him, and that would be our objective for this career mode. We have Nicholas Latifi, who's the Canadian driver who will be replacing the Polish driver Robert Kubica. Um, Nothing too special about him. Nicholas Latifi has few F2 wins. He came close to winning the F2 sometimes, but he never won it. He is an unproven talent, and hopefully he works out for us. But it's kind of a risky investment. We'll see how it works out. Um, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the moment you have been waiting all season long. The legendary Paddy Lowe is somehow still stuck in this game. I don't know how he is with Williams still, because he clearly got fired in the 2019 season. Maybe he's returning from his vacation and wants to take over. However, Paddy has designed our 2020 F1 Challenger, and guys, if you're not scared, now is the right time to, you know, you grab some popcorn and cover yourself up, because Mr. Lowe is back and he just made a Williams car. It doesn't get much worse than that. Um, Moving forward, let us have a look at our race drivers and what our scouts have to say. So basically, George Russell is not the best driver in Formula One. Well, that is pretty obvious at the moment. He has enormous potential, but he's not quite there. So let's see what we can do with Russell, and I hope we can build a team around him. Nicholas Latifi is a low quality driver, that's not surprising. He's a pay driver, so he's pretty much here for the money, and hopefully along the way he can do some good stuff for us. Roy Nissany, not going to worry about this champ. He is worthless and I wouldn't even trust him with my mom's Maruti 800. So I'm not going to waste time reading about this. Moving forward, Mike O'Driscoll, who's the chairman of Williams, wants to know where we can finish this season. So basically, the more higher we finish, the more money we get throughout the season. However, I'm going with 8th but not 7th because there are other competitive teams in the lower end of the midfield. Like we have the Alpha Tauri and then the Alfa Romeos, and then even Haas Formula 1 team looked more faster than Williams in pre-season testing. So going 7th is quite risky, and personally I feel like we are not there yet. So I'm going to go with 8th, and we are going to get 31.5 million over the course of the season. We have 3-stage qualifying sessions similar to Formula 1, so no surprises there. Introduction to pit crew, I know how the pit crew works, so that's it for now. Let's move on and see how our car looks like. So basically this is our car, and I've updated the latest livery according to the F1 2020 season. Straight off the bat, you need to acknowledge Williams, because this time, unlike last season, they showed up to testing, so that itself is a great achievement. If there's any trophy for that, please bring it out, and I think that's the only acknowledgement they're going to get this season. All jokes apart, I think Williams have tremendously improved their car this season, although I don't expect them to be fighting in the midfield or at the lower end. I feel like they have gained some speed over the pre-season. However, they are still the worst car on the grid, which comes as no surprise. Basically, by seeing this stats, I feel like Williams have increased their downforce package and they have compromised their straight line speed. Top speed seems to be bad, and they have the 9th best power unit. I don't know how that is possible, especially when they're powered by a Mercedes engine. Maybe they forgot to plug the spark plug in or something like that. We'll figure it out as the season goes on. Gearbox wise, we seem to be fine. Couple more iteration and we might be on the sharp end of the midfield. Deceleration wise, Paddy forgot to put in the brakes, so we need to make new ones. Low speed corners, instead of a rod, now they're using a actual front wing which generates downforce, so that's an amazing improvement. And suspension wise we are good, and high speed corners we seem to be struggling a lot, so a lot of work needs to be done on the rear wing. I think we'll be good around street circuits, and might struggle a little in high power circuits like Monza and Belgium, where top speed and high speed corners play a crucial role. So we have a budget of just 2 million euros, and we need to be wise about the parts we are going to develop over the season. So first of all, I'm going to start developing the brakes, because brakes are crucial for the first race of the season in Australia. Then it's again crucial for Dubai, and it's again crucial for China. So let's start off by making new brakes. The current potential is at 810, and this new part increases it by 20, so it makes it 830. I'm going to go ahead and build this part. It's going to cost us 800,000 euros, and now our budget is 1.2 million. Let's have a look at our HQ. This is our HQ, and the factory is level 3 and the design center is level 3. I didn't expect the factory to be level 3 because Williams are having a pretty old factory which is not updated in many years. We have all other units like the simulator, ride handling facilities at level 1. The test track, however, is at the maximum level. So in theory, Williams should be having the best power unit on the grid, but I don't know how they have the 9th best power unit. Maybe we can use advantage of this factor and try to develop better power units going forward. Let me introduce you to our team. I'm the team principal. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm going to say it out loud. I'm the team principal once again. And then we have our drivers, George Russell, who is extremely talented. Then we have Nicholas Latifi. I hope he comes in handy. Then we have Roy Nissany, who's absolute garbage. We have Paddy Lowe, and honestly, some mechanics in Tilak Nagar build better cars than him, so no comments. We have two substandard race mechanics. So if anyone is wondering why Williams have been so poor in the recent years, it's so obvious. Mainly they have a lead designer who's not good enough, and then we have two race mechanics who are nowhere close to being good, and then Williams have constantly gone for payday drivers, starting from all the way like from Lance Stroll. So if you don't structure your team properly, especially the spine of the team, I mean any team for that matter, is going to collapse. So going forward, I would like to bring in new race mechanics and definitely at some point remove Paddy Lowe. We'll see how that goes. Let's have a look at our drivers and their contracts. So George Russell is going to be with us for a period of 10 months. However, I think we can give him a contract extension depending on how he does this season. But we will stick with him, and he's only 22 years old, so there's a lot of potential there. I think we can get rid of Nicholas Latifi after this season because his contract runs out by then. But however, the cost to break his contract is 3 million, which we can't afford even if we get the funds. Unless he does something extremely stupid, I'm not going to fire him. And we have Roy Nissany as our reserve driver. Let's look at the driver traits. And George Russell is a team player, so that means that he has good relationship with the mechanics and his teammates, which is a good thing. So an ideal candidate to build the team around. He has good braking, which we figured out before, and he's fuel hungry. So when we are setting the engine modes, we need to be wary of that. Let's see what Nicholas Latifi has. Cornering is good, overtaking is decent, and everything else is trash. He is content and doesn't care about winning trophies. So no wonder this shithead never won F2, because he never cared, and it says driver doesn't care about winning trophies. So no surprises here. And we at Williams also don't win trophies, so it's a match made in heaven. Welcome, Mr. Latifi. Moving ahead, we have Roy Nissany. He's just way below average, and these stats are very subpar, but then he's a pay driver, and we'll get around 805,000 euros for each race they are involved, or half of it if he takes part in practice sessions. So basically we can use him in a lot of practice sessions and get around 4,000 euros for nothing. He has good feedback also comparatively to Russell and Latifi, so that will come in handy, and it's a quick way to make money. So we might keep Roy Nissany for some seasons for the money, but then Nicholas Latifi has to go. Hopefully he can prove me wrong, but until and unless that happens, I don't want him in the team. Let's look at the staff we have. Paddy Lowe's cost to break the contract is 6 million, and he has 10 months left. So even if we want to remove this joker, we can't, because A, we don't have the funds, and I don't know what Claire Williams was smoking to put up a 6 million release clause on his contract. So Paddy Lowe lives to fight another day or see another day, I don't know. We are pretty much fucked. And then we have Jonathan Eddols, who's little over 3 stars, and again he has a contract break clause of 1.5 million. Then we have Dave Robson, who's nothing special, but again he has 1.5 million contract break clause. So I don't know what Williams were thinking giving these guys such stupid contracts. Basically, even to replace these guys, it's gonna be difficult, and we are gonna be stuck with them for a while now. Moving forward, let's have a look at the pit crew. We have the 4th best pit crew on the grid, which is good, and Williams have traditionally had good pit crews. Hopefully we can build on that. I mean, that's the only thing they have been doing right over the last certain years. I'm going to hire this guy because his fixing is promising, and it's better than what we have now. It is 17, so he can be a backup, and this guy is not worth hiring. I think we can hire him because his tire skills are good and he's an improvement over what we have on tires. So basically we hired 2 mechanics and this guy can go straight into the team replacing the 16 potential mechanic. Or wait, I'll put the 16 guy back in and remove the 15 guy. And we increased our pit stop and it's 2.65 seconds now, so that's a good thing, and hopefully as the season progresses we can make more changes. And I swapped the 15 guys, so now we have 16, 17, 17, 16 and our pit stop is 2.59 seconds, so hopefully we can improve on it and make faster pit stops. Let's have a look at the finances for this year. So we have a budget of 1.86 million. Basically it was 2 million, and after all the expenditures we have little over 1.1 million left, and we get 1 million per race, which is not bad. And basically, as much as I wanna cry about the pay driver policy at Williams, at some point you also need to understand that the team lost their sponsorships and this is the only way they can make money. So 1 million per race is good, and for the next year's car we are going to set aside 937,000 euros per race. We definitely can't go for a fat stack because we have barely enough money to even cover our parts expenditure for the car, so definitely fat stack doesn't work. For now I'm going to leave it on medium. Let's have a look at the sponsors. We have Rocket, who are the toothpaste company from United Kingdom, sponsoring both Williams and Houston Rockets. They're paying us like 1 million euros per race. Then we have Oris, the Swiss watch company. Definitely don't confuse it with Rolex. We are not at that level yet. They're paying us 340,000 euros for 13 races. Then we have JCB, and the reason why they have sponsored by JCB is because if the car is abysmal, instead of watching it finish last painfully, they might as well demolish it and go home. So that's the reason why Williams have signed up with JCB. And slot 3, slot 2 and slot 6 is empty. Hopefully we can get some good sponsors and increase our budget and make this car competitive. It's a long shot, but I like to believe in good things, hopefully. So let's sim ahead and wait for our brakes to arrive, and they are here. The brakes are built, so let's go ahead and improve them in terms of performance as well as reliability. We'll get it 6 days before the race. Let me try to even it out to 7 days each. Yep, that makes more sense. So we're going to get our upgraded brakes 1 week before the Melbourne GP or the Australian GP. So we're going to leave it at that, and I would ideally want to develop another part, but we don't have the funds to, so I'm going to leave it. We have an interview request. It's from Canal Plus, and Laurent Dupin wants to take our interview, so let's go ahead and accept the interview offer. He is asking us questions. So the first one is, well, you have certainly picked a tough task for your first job. Are you expecting to pick up many points at all this season? I'm going to say I'm quite confident that we'll make a few decent finishes, but I'm making no promises because you never know. I mean, if we can get like 3-4 top 10 finishes, I would be ecstatic. George Russell is seen as fan favorite driver. Do you think Latifi is better? I definitely don't, but to keep the morale of the two drivers going, I'm going to go with the answer I just picked. The Canal Plus season preview wrote that we can finish 8th. I'll say we can do better than that, and is saying that I'm a legendary engineer, and if I can use those skills on the pit wall, I'm going to go ahead and say that the fans should know that they're on the safe hands. So basically the marketability of our team now increased, so hopefully we get good sponsors. Let's sim ahead and wait for our brakes to be completely done, which is now done, and we have some new mails. we have a report on the first race of the season at Sydney. So guys, Motorsport Manager does not have the licensing to all tracks. Some tracks are renamed and some countries are added which are not on the F1 calendar. So just go with it. Basically, the race in Australia is going to be 46 laps long, and there is 40% likelihood of rain. So we must be careful when we are selecting the weekend tire allocation. And also the track is quite aggressive, but our car is having good tire wear, which is surprising. So we have ultra softs, softs and mediums for the Grand Prix with inter and wets. I think we can go with super softs and mediums. We will pick like 3 mediums and probably 5 super softs, and the remaining of them we can go with ultra softs. Basically, I don't want to pick too many ultra softs because I hardly doubt we'll get into Q2, and in the race we'll have a free choice of tires. So going on super soft and then taking it up to 30 laps and then going on ultra softs for the last 16 laps makes sense. So that would be our strategy for the first race of the season. However, if there's rain or something or some kind of incident happens, we'll have 3 spare medium tires so that we can run long. Reliability work is complete, and Mr. Paddy Lowe has mailed me saying that it's great that we have a wind tunnel in our HQ, but is there any chance of ever seeing it upgraded? Well, Mr. Paddy, I wish I could upgrade you with, I don't know, maybe the garage mechanic next to my house, but unfortunately I can't do it. You should be happy that you're here rather than complain about our facilities, and our team has only 1.1 million euros budget. So shut the fuck up, sit down, and stop emailing me. If I ever catch you doing this again, I'm gonna fire you, because it's insulting enough that you have made a shit car and now you want a better wind tunnel. So just shut the fuck up and get lost. Let's go ahead and see what's happening. So we got a few sponsor offers. I'll go through them. For slot number 6, we have Ricardo, who will give us 350,000 per race if we finish 17th or above. It is possible for us to finish 17th or above, but damn, I don't know how to pronounce this. They are giving us 6 almost 7 million if for 17 races, and Maggie are giving us the least amount of money, so I'm not going to go with Maggie, although going with Maggie makes sense because we get free noodles and we can hog on them when our team is doing miserable at the back of the grid. I think in the current situation we are and the severe lack of funds we have, I don't want to go with the long-term pay. I need money now, so I'm going to go with this sponsor and sign a deal. And we got 8 million now. Let's see what are the sponsors we have for slot 2. We have Pennzoil, who are paying us 13 million for 20 races. Then we have Telemex, who are paying us 22 million for 23 races. And we have Pennzoil, who's again paying us some sort of a fixed pay per race. I don't know which company this is, but I feel so bad for them because they're investing in a car that's going to consistently finish last, and not 1 million or 2 million. They're giving us almost 23 million for 23 races. So I hope their souls rest in peace. And all of a sudden we have 30 million. So we went from bankruptcy to being super rich. So let's see what's in slot 3. We have Tag Heuer. If we finish 8th or above, they're going to give us 1 million, and honestly they're not even in a million years we can finish 8th or above with this car. So they're just bantering us. Same with Novodisc, 10th or above not possible. Spirit, however, Spirit Airlines, the legendary Spirit Airlines, want to pay us 7,000 euros per race. I think none of the sponsorship deals are good for us. I'm going to wait for another race before I sign anything and see what sort of offers we get. So I'm not going to sign anything, but on that note, I think we can go with Spirit because we might get even worse deals, and 7,000 per race is not bad. So you know what, I'm gonna sign it and we'll see what happens. So we got Spirit on our rear wings, and then we got the new sponsors Telmex, who have paid 23 million, and JCB, and even Rocket. So our sponsorship quota is more or less sorted, and we made 30 million. So straight off the bat, I want to go and upgrade our HQ, which has not been upgraded since dinosaurs were last roaming on Earth. We'll build this helipad, which will give us 5-star sponsors for the next negotiations, and we'll get more money. So I'll go ahead and build this. It's probably going to take around 2 weeks. Yes, it's going to take 2 weeks. And is there anything else we can upgrade? I think we can go for a new simulator. It would improve our rear wing, which is struggling a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this. It will cost us 12 million and it will take 56 weeks for it to be built. We still have 18 million left, which is quite a lot of money for one season, and we make 1 million per race. So that is going to be helpful, and I'm going to design a new engine now that we have the funds to do so. Our current potential is 818. This new engine will make it 843, and it will cost us nearly 2 million. So we'll have that for the Dubai Grand Prix and the Chinese Grand Prix, where top speed plays a crucial part. So I'm investing in parts that's going to help us in the future, and hopefully it all pays off. We have the best sponsorship deals in the paddock, and we have done our sponsorship deals very wisely. Pit crew wise we are 4th, staff wise we are 11th, there's no surprises there. Headquarters wise we are 6th, drivers wise we are last, no surprises there. We have shit drivers at the moment, and our car is 10th on the grid. So basically we have the funds now, but I don't want to spend it on replacing Paddy or the other 2 mechanics. I want to invest it completely on the car and improve it as much as possible. So guys, that's it for the first episode. When we come back, we'll be going lights out in Australia. I hope you enjoyed my content, and thanks for the subscriptions and unlimited love you have showed me on my channel. I really appreciate it. And most importantly, please stay home and stay safe. This is just a phase and it's gonna pass, and we are all in this together. So yeah, cheers, and until next time, see you.